Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable Podcast. We are here recording episode number 28, and it is a month recap of my time so far in the Czech Republic. Somehow I've survived. I've made it this first month out. A lot of it has to do with my amazing co-host, my good buddy Jared. What's going on, Jared?
He's only lost 3 fingers and 1 leg, but he's still alive. As they say in Monty Python, it's but a flesh wound.
It's only a flesh wound.
Come on, give me a best shot. Follow. Please give us your best shot on Twitter. Follow us. That doesn't even make any sense. I tried to figure out if I could make that work.
That kind of works.
No, just follow us on Twitter.
Just as long as they're not roasting us like Wendy's has been.
You know what?
Twitter
That's
feed is
actually
crazy,
that should be a social media technique that I use. Just go back and forth against Wendy's.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
Wendy's versus the Untranslatable Podcast coming at you. That would be great.
We'll definitely have some flesh wounds though if we go at Wendy's. I'm just saying.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm pretty good.
Well, in case we do want to get at Wendy's, where can Wendy's find us, Jared?
You can find us on Twitter, going at Wendy's, Untranslatable 1, the number 1. You can follow us on Instagram, where we'll also be going after Wendy's, Untranslatable Podcast.
Oh, God.
Or you can email us, the Untranslatable Podcast at gmail.com, and tell us your tactics for getting at Wendy's. Or other fun language-related untranslatables, travel-related untranslatables, tips, techniques, but mostly, how can we take down Wendy's?
Oh no!
Ever since they
we're digging our proverbial social media grave.
Ever since they changed their fries, Wendy's just hasn't been the same. They think they're cool now.
Did they change their fries?
Yeah, like 10 years ago. It's been a while, but yeah, they did. Remember when they started advertising that they use sea salt like it was some sort of revelation?
Oh, yep. Uh-huh.
They changed the fries then. That's where they snuck it in there. Like, look at these whole brand new fries.
Right. See, though, for me, my fast food game has obviously been off since I've, now been in Europe for a month, and I haven't eaten any American fast food in the Czech Republic. Well, okay, I went once with my buddy Jeff, who was a guest on our show.
But that's
Jeff's
fault. Now that Jeff isn't here, we can just blame it on him.
Oh, poor Jeff. But yeah.
To be honest with you, I couldn't tell you the last time I've been to a Wendy's. It's been years, like literally years. But I still remember being angry about that fry switch over.
Still salty, pun incredibly intended.
Oh man, you want to hear about some other beef going on in my life?
Oh hell yeah!
So the other day I was going to work, and I walk out to my car and I look and I see that my door is closed but not fully closed, and I'm like, I did not leave my door like that. And so I get in my car like normal, and I look and I notice, I was like, where's my sunglasses? And I look and I look behind me, and I was like, where's my rain jacket? And then I look and I was like, yeah, they got my iPod Touch from 2010 too. Someone broke into my car.
No.
And and by the way, that's all they stole were my literally 6-year-old prescription sunglasses, probably 10-year-old iPod Touch, and a rain jacket that's actually pretty new, but it's not that nice. It's and also my hood was like open, but they never opened it, so I was like, oh god, please tell me my engine's there or something.
Right.
But I think they just pulled it to see if maybe some sort of secret compartment opened in my car. But it was just like the almost, it seemed like also just like the laziest of break-ins. And also apparently I came home yesterday and I ran into my neighbor, and I mentioned to him that someone broke into my car the other day, and he said the same thing happened to him. And they left his sunglasses, which were also prescription sunglasses, but took something else. I don't remember what they took. Also he took there was a lighter in my car that they took too. Where I was like, that was 99 cents. Okay, that's a weird.
Were those like those brown sunglasses you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember those from back in the day.
And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even. It was weird because I was never really even mad. I was just like, yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of deserve that. I don't know.
Why did you leave your car unlocked?
I mean, probably because this thief wasn't putting too much effort in. So I could say maybe, probably, like it happened. Oh, you know what else? I'll tell you. I noticed before I even noticed someone had broken into my car. So this is actually Friday that I walked out to my car because now I remember because I garbage day's Friday and I had taken out my trash Thursday night, and I have a back door and a front door, and I taken out through the back door and then gone into the front door. And I had walked out the next morning to go to work, and I'd realized I forgot to lock my door because I had come in through a different door than I had because I take my trash around the house, and so I came and I forgot to lock my back door, and I was like, I should be thanking this guy that they only took three, or girl or whoever it is, that they only took three things out of my car rather than came into my house, which apparently I also left open. By the way, now I realize I'm just living this haphazard lifestyle that I need to. But every now and again, I think I do forget to lock my car. Maybe, well, probably, and maybe that was one of the times. I've actually, when I lived in my old place in Philly, I moved to this place, which is literally like 5 minutes down the street. But I moved to this place like a little over a year ago at this point, and in my old place. One Saturday night or something, I was like on the 6th floor and it overlooked a parking lot, and I saw a dude like walking up to doors, just pulling on handles, seeing if the cars were open, and like that was the first and only time I called 911, and nothing happened. The police officer came long after the dude had already left, but
obviously,
yeah, so that was a bummer, but I got over it quickly. I was surprised how not angry I was.
Did you have some good music on your old iPod Touch?
Nothing that's not on my computer.
Okay.
But
that's always good.
It was just, and I never really even used that iPod. It's just, since I never use it, I have like my car, this was such short-sightedness on like that company's thought, but it comes with this connector for like that specific generation of iPod. You know that old school big plug. And I was that was real good thinking. You think that's the only plug that someone wants in their car? Like, that's ridiculous. But anyway, so I just leave.
Yeah, it would make more sense to just have a standard USB outlet so you could plug
and
in.
My car's a 2013. You'd think they'd know to put a USB in at that point. But whatever. That's a whole different story. And so, and there's like nothing in my car that I'd really cry over because I usually keep my car pretty clean anyway. So, like, those sunglasses, they're like 6+ years old. It's like, I need to go back to the eye doctor anyway. I've been lazy on that.
Right.
In general. But yeah, that was a little bummer. But I was surprised at how quickly I just said.
Many fregista.
I'll tell you what, though. There was, and also my, so they're building like these apartments across the street from us. And my same neighbor said that he had saw someone breaking into those apartments, and he walked over to him and like confronted him, and he was saying how his wife was mad at him, and I was,
that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah, he said he was drunk though.
I feel like that makes it even worse.
No, but I'm saying it's a little bit more fake courage. I think is what he was implying.
Right, he had that liquid courage.
Yeah. But yeah, live in the mean streets of Philadelphia, baby.
Right?
You never know what's going to happen.
Speaking of which, I wanted to ask you, when did you take those pictures of those murals? Those murals are sweet.
Oh, yesterday. I just walked I was walking to get lunch from somewhere, and I just walked past it. I could do that all day long. There's so many murals around here. Just in the city.
We should do like a murals in Philly thing. That'd be dope.
That. Oh, but I still have time, but I would say winter's coming, so I walk around less. But there's still time. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, because those murals were sick, man.
There was actually another one I was going to take a picture of, but there was a tree, and like it was not a good placement for a picture. There was stuff blocking it, but it was cool.
Man, having that nature get in front of our beautiful industrial murals. What is this?
I know. But yeah, I love. There's a lot of cool murals around, and they change every now and again. So I could definitely. There was another one I was going to take a picture of actually yesterday as well. But it just, I never, I'm such a bad picture taker like you, where it's like, I mean, what's the point? But I was like, oh, yeah, there is a point.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. The podcast and the Instagram page has made me take so many more pictures that I probably never would have taken otherwise.
But it also makes me look closer at my own neighborhood than I ever do. Because that picture, where I took that's like a 10-minute walk from where I live. Like, that's not that far away from my house. And it makes me look closer at my own neighborhood too.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's some cool stuff around here.
You know, that's the thing. Sometimes you just gotta
Start a podcast.
You know, exactly. Well, that too. But I was gonna say sometimes you have to just kind of get out there and explore what's right under your nose. You know what I mean? Because especially when you live in a place and you know you're gonna be there for the unforeseeable future. You know, you could be there a year, 2 years, 5 years, a decade. Who knows? I feel like you're definitely less likely to go out and like explore stuff because it's like, oh, I could just do it tomorrow.
Right. And I've mentioned before that like I do like to walk around a lot, but I feel like a lot of the time I've walked around, I've seen a lot of cool stuff, but a lot of it is more, my headphones are on, whatever I'm either music or podcast I'm listening to is like full blast in my headphones. Right. And it's more of me zoning out than really appreciating where I am, even though like I'm surrounded by all this cool Philly stuff. Right. So now I'm going to walk around with my headphones still blasting stuff, but pay a little bit more attention to what's around me.
There you go.
The headphones
Close
are not
your ears
coming
up,
off.
but keep those eyes wide open.
Exactly.
Speaking of walking around, Jared, take a guess how many miles I walked yesterday.
15. That's a lot.
That is
10.
a lot.
I'm gonna
I
say
didn't
10.
walk 15. 10. You're very close. I walked 8 miles.
That's good. That's good. And speaking of keeping your ears wide open, why did you walk so many miles?
Well, that's a great question, Jared. There was a music festival in my town. And what's interesting is I literally took my street, and it was a mile down my street.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it was awesome. And I hadn't really... I've explored more like so when I leave my apartment, I explore more of the east, I guess, to like the exit of my apartment, because that's where like the town center is. That's where like my favorite kebab place is, where I'm also trying to become homies with one of the kebab guys there. He's awesome.
Yeah, you've been telling
me
me
about
about
a sweet
that.
mustache.
Have you talked about that on the podcast or just to me?
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. Just to you. That's why I'm bringing it up. Yeah, this guy is like super friendly. Every other guy at this kebab place, they all have like, they don't smile at all. They seem very serious. Seem kind of like, God damn it, like why am I here again today? Like they hate their job or whatever. But this one dude, he's like bald and has a cool mustache. What?
I was a doctor back in Turkey.
Right. But this one guy, it seems like he's like happy to speak English a little bit, which is kind of a relief because most people here so far have not been. Some have been excited to speak English, but a lot of them like aren't super thrilled.
Or just lie and say they can't.
Right. But maybe they're just intimidated. I feel like I'm not a very intimidating guy, but maybe they haven't met. Exactly. I mean, that's been my life-saving. Well, my life-saving phrase, and also the downfall of a lot of stuff, because they'll just look at me and go, nah.
But it works with this guy.
Right. It does. But yeah, so anyway, so I kind of walked around more of the west part of the town. And so the music festival was in the Bezruchova Valley, and Bezruch was a Czech poet, actually, turns out. And then Bezruchova, that OVA ending, is like of Bezruch. So, like, a lot of women here, they have that OVA suffix on their names because it means, like, the wife of whatever.
It's kind of like Dutch having, like, a lot of phones.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah,
Von
it's all, I guess they
Clemenstein.
also have it in Russian as well. Like you have, like, Maria Sharapova, right?
Oh, the OVA is
her
of Sharapov.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, so anyway, so I walked, a mile down the road, and then there's this beautiful little lake and stuff. So that's where I snapped some of those pictures yesterday, because I got there a little early because I had no idea how long it was actually going to take me to walk early. I'm one of those nerds, man. I was just excited to hear all this music because these were like kind of not necessarily local bands, because I think the majority of them were from Prague.
Local to the Czech Republic.
Right, exactly. So they were all Czech bands. The first band, they were called Ian, like the name Ian. And it was a little weird because, like, so the lead singer and guitar player introduced all the bandmates.
Was there a theme to this festival or something?
Not really. It was just bunch of live music.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I think they have it every year, but I mean, there's not really like a theme
or like a certain kind of music they attract, or like crowd or something.
No, they were all different, and I saw people there that were like, you know, like metalheads, like with like black like metal hoodies on and like long hair. I saw like just some older couples like in their like 50s and 60s there. There were kids running around. I mean, it was really nice to see like all these different people come out for this festival.
Yeah.
And it was 200 crowns to get in, so that's like
$10, a little less than $10.
Yeah, maybe like $8, somewhere around there, I think.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad for a whole day of music. I mean, I got there at 4:00 and I left at like 11:30.
Wow.
So I was there all day.
I think you got your money's worth.
I would say so, man. There were some good groups. But so the first group was called Ian, and they were from Prague. But it was weird, man. The lead singer like introduced all the band members at the end of their set, and then he said like I'm Ian. But it's like bro, like why is your band called Ian and your name's Ian? Like I feel like if
is
I
he
were
Ian?
That's what he said, but like
but is
he
his
was
name
Czech.
is he the Ian of the group? Maybe
I guess, but I just feel like if I was in a group with like 3 other guys, it would be like Ian and the
Carlos
whatever,
Santana does it.
know?
He has Carlos Santana songs, and there are people singing. He's like, oh, that's some other person. That's just some random dude.
Right. But Carlos Santana is also famous.
Yeah, well, maybe Ian's the Carlos Santana of general.
Maybe.
I think maybe he's also or like is that not a thing where you could be like more of a solo act and you do all of the arranging of it, and then you kind of pimp out bands and find groups that work with you, and they kind of accept that you're like this is I'm doing all the writing and everything. You're essentially just like my band that I hire.
Right. But then I would think you'd call it like
Ian and the Ianettes.
Right, or like the Ian band or something. I don't know.
Oh, who does that?
The Marcus King band, there are a lot of different. But yeah, so I don't know. But he was good. Sang
Harold
pretty
Melvin
much
and
everything
the
in
Blue Notes.
English. What?
Nothing. Sorry, that's just some random oldies group.
Yeah, you're good. But I think they were their second or third was probably one of my favorites, which was Mr. Coco Man, which we will be talking about later for our Song of the Pod. But there were a couple other bands that I also want to talk about. There was this really other good band. Oh, shoot. What's their... Of course, now I'm blanking on their name. I added them on Spotify. Hold up. Let me take a quick look.
Oh, man.
They were... But the cool thing was they played like... They played like this mix of like kind of like gypsy style music.
What's gypsy style music?
Circus Brothers is the name of the band. Circus Brothers.
All right, now I know what gypsy style music is.
Mm-hmm. Well, gypsy, it's got like violin and clarinet, and it's like really fast, upbeat. You know.
How did that's true. I never thought about that. How did the gypsies get the clarinet? How did that happen?
I don't know. That's a great question, Jared. I don't know.
I saw a live band yesterday at this one bar in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Not Lancaster, Lancaster.
Okay.
And someone was playing like this electric clarinet-looking thing. Apparently, it was an electric woodwind instrument.
Interesting. What was also cool, though, about the Circus Brothers, they didn't have a bass player, but they had a tuba player.
Oh, that's tough. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a commitment.
Right? Yeah, they were really good. Their violinist was great.
That's very gypsy. Is that offensive, gypsy? I feel like you're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, you're not.
I've said it,
but,
what, 3 times?
Here's the weird thing, though. So the term that you should use, at least here in the Czech Republic, is Roma or Romani. I guess in England they do use the term traveler, but I don't know if that's offensive or not.
Or Roman or Romani because they're Romanian based, right?
No,
not based, but
not at all.
No, oh,
not at all.
Ooh.
Nope.
Ooh. Oh,
nope, not at all.
Ooh.
So
cut that out.
So
I'm gonna edit that out. No, I'm just kidding.
you don't gotta edit it out. You're
kidding.
good. I'm sure a lot of our listeners have the same questions. And where the name comes from is, I guess they have like a Roma organization that represents their people. And that's the name they decided on. And I don't really know what the roots or origins of the term Roma come from, but I can tell you that the Roma people actually originated in India.
Okay.
And then over centuries, they moved all their way across from Europe. And I believe their first kind of spot they landed in Europe was somewhere in Greece. And actually, they were mislabeled as like another type of minority in Greece, I believe, which is actually where the terms for gypsy in other languages stems from.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
But see, that's the weird thing about that word, though, man. Because if you talk about music, I mean, in America there is a brand of music called gypsy jazz, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and so I also was wondering, like, is that an offensive term? I'm not sure. I know you should not call people, if they are Roma people, you should not call them gypsies. That's very rude. Although, sadly, I have heard Czech people use the Czech term for it.
As a pejorative?
Kind of. Yeah, I would say so. I mean... but that's the thing. Like when I was talking to a couple people at the festival, they were like, "Yeah, this is kind of like a gypsy style of music," but they didn't mean it in like a derogatory way. They just meant like this sounds like music that like the Roma people play,
right?
So yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Also, I have a question for you. Speaking of, offensive, not offensive language. I had a student ask me in class the other day.
Was this part of the AMA?
It was actually. He asked me. I think he asked me something about Michigan or Detroit or something, and I used the term African American. And then a student asked me later after class if it's rude or inappropriate to use the term black. And I wanted to know, what are your thoughts on that, Jared?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Honestly, at this point, African American sounds a little weirder to me.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know. It just first of all, that in itself is making a lot of assumptions. I mean, you could be talking to some
for sure.
Haitian person or something, who knows. But
right, or Jamaican,
right.
Or yeah, for sure.
But and I don't know. I don't have a problem with African American. It doesn't bother me. Let me. Like, I'm not gonna be like, this. Like, it doesn't bother me. But yeah. No, I think black is okay.
Okay.
I think that's the accepted vernacular these days.
Right. Because I had my student ask me that, and I said, well,
I'll ask my black friend and get back to you.
I mean, kind of, yeah. Well, I don't want to teach them the wrong thing and then have them go to the States and get their, like,
I will
piss
say
people
this
off or whatever.
As a black person that has lived in Europe and been around a lot of Europeans, it does sound a little weirder when Europeans say black for some reason. But maybe it's just
Really?
the accent.
Okay.
But that's not an offensive thing, but it's just like, ooh.
Right. Right. Well, and where I tried to talk to my student and explain to him, I was like, well...
Don't say it and sneer, though. Is that what you tell
Well, obviously. Obviously. I mean, right. Well, no, but what I tried to explain to him was, like, I don't really think, like, in the black community that they call, you call each other African American.
Yeah, no one in the black, no one in the black families or households or friend groups is saying African American.
Right. And at the same time too, like, It would be a little weird, I think, if somebody called me Caucasian. Like, I've been called white. Like, that doesn't bother me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, good to know. I'll have to share that knowledge with my student. I kind of told him that I'm pretty sure black is an okay term to use, but, like with anything, like with the term Roma versus Gypsy or whatever, you have to, in my opinion, you have to ask the groups of people that you're describing, right?
Yeah, it's tough to do. I mean, it is tough to broach subjects like that, because what if you are, who knows, like what you're asking a question and it turns out you are saying something offensive and someone gets mad.
Exactly.
But
it's not a good look, and that would not fall back on me very positively as their language teacher. That's for sure.
Yeah, I would tell them that you could use either interchangeably, but I think black is like widely accepted.
Right. But like anything in language, it's also how you say it. Like you said, like you don't want to sneer or like,
Oh, yeah. But I think it might be useful to also mention to him that the only thing about African American is there are plenty of black people in America that don't have that quote unquote African American root.
Right. Like, what if you're even like, you lived in France for a long period of time, and then you moved to the States. Yeah. There's a lot of scenarios, I think, where you're right. It does assume a lot of things.
I knew a kid in high school that was from Belgium. That was a black dude. His name was Bernard or something like that.
Okay, interesting. Well, good to know, Jared. I appreciate it. But yeah, anyways, so the music festival was a big hit. I'm glad I went. I'm hoping to go to more music festivals in the Czech Republic. I did learn a couple new Czech words and phrases, which I will be sharing with you and our listeners later on this episode. Learned a very, very important phrase, which you already know, but the listeners don't just yet, so we'll save that.
You were mentioning that you. So I got a couple more things on this festival. You were mentioning that you're having all these conversations about gypsy music, and who are these people that you're talking to?
A couple of them were basically friends of the people I was with there, and then a couple of my colleagues that I was with.
Okay.
While I was there.
I thought you went by yourself.
Nope. I would have, but my colleague and her husband, who's also the guy that I go to the hockey games with,
right?
They were nice enough to. Yeah, I mean we're
starting to get a little.
I would
jealous
say so. Yeah, I mean, what'd you say, sir?
I'm starting to get a little jealous.
Don't worry, Jared. No one can take away our podcast bond in our history. Don't you worry. If I start a new podcast, though, then you better watch out.
What kind of microphones does he have?
But yeah, it was a great time with them, and really enjoyed Mr. Coco Man, which I did not think the Czech language and reggae would work. Yeah, but it actually sounds pretty cool.
And they can do stuff. We're a little early, but they can do stuff with, like their word, like with sentence structure and phrase structure that like is new to me because their inflections are so weird.
Right, it's different, and I found out yesterday when listening. Yep. Oh yeah, a lot of the rolled R's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what makes it sound cool. And plus, there's some words with like specific endings, and some of them are case markings. So for our listeners out there who aren't big language grammar nerds, case markings are basically designed to signify what's going on in the sentence, right? So who is maybe being given what, who is the subject, which person or thing is the object. Things like this. And so in Czech, there's actually 7 cases. In English, we have 0. In German, there's 4.
Where are they in German?
In Czech, there's 7. What
are they in German?
Nominative, which is the subject.
That's what you mean.
Accusative, dative, and genitive are German. I don't still know all the cases very well in Czech yet. We can talk about that on another episode.
That'll be a fun episode. Case markings episode.
Right? But the cool thing is they do have endings on them. So you can definitely change the sounds of the sentences based on the case markings, which is really nice.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions about the music festival?
No, that's it. Oh, what was like the scene like? Paint a picture of the scene.
So, like I said, it was in the Bezruchova Valley, which is...
Oh, wait, you already did that. I take that back. I forgot that there were a lot of people around. I guess I just want to... What kind of field was it, I guess? Like,
oh, gotcha.
And how many different... Were there different stages, or was it one stage?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I didn't really describe that. Good call, buddy. So, it was actually... This is going to sound kind of weird, but where the festival was actually used to be an old nail factory. Back in the communist times, it used to be an old nail factory.
Nails that you hammer into things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And then they remodeled the entire building, and now there's actually... So on the left side was where the old nail factory was, and it's right along the river and a lake there, which I think they put it there on purpose back in the day so they could use that running water and everything. Well, then investors came and bought up the other part of the land, and they built a little fitness center, sauna, hotel, and restaurant on that side. And then in between it's all cobblestone. And they built one stage like right next to where the hotel and restaurant is. And I would guess there were probably about, I don't know, maybe 300 to 500 people there.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
So, yeah, it wasn't huge, but it was definitely big enough where there was a crowd, and it got a lot more crowded as the night went on.
So you were there for 7+ hours.
Yep.
Were there plenty of area to sit down or chill out for a bit or get away from the commotion for a bit, but still be in this nail factory?
So there were picnic tables all over the place where you could sit. And then they had beer actually at 3 different spots you could get it, and it was all on tap. Also, dude, I've never seen.
I feel like
before.
that's just a given at this point. I don't even ask that anymore.
Right. But yeah, they had beer and they had some snacks as
sausages?
well.
Any sausages there?
I did have a sausage. Yeah, it was great. I got a sausage with.
Well, I'm no longer going to ask, was there beer or sausage? That's just a given.
Right.
Everyone just assume that wherever Chad goes, there's probably beer and sausage.
And I'm probably enjoying both of those. Exactly. But this was interesting, though, dude. The sausage was normal, but they had jalapeno peppers with it, a pickle, and then bread. Usually you get sausage and, like, some bread and mustard.
Keep it simple.
So the pickles, right? Exactly. Keep it simple, stupid. But this place, they had the jalapenos and the pickles, which were pretty good.
Okay. I'm not a big pickle
So that
fan,
was really
but,
nice.
I could still make it work.
Right, and then the cups for the beer, dude, this was genius. They were 1/2-liter plastic cups, and they had these little prongs coming out the top of them that could be used either as like a handle. You could kind of stick your like a finger or 2 fingers underneath the prongs, or if you ordered more than one beer and had to carry them, you could actually put the prongs in like one glass and carry them. So you could carry up to like 6, 7, 8 beers at once.
I understand what you're saying, but I'd love to see what that looked like.
I should have. Oh, man, I goofed.
I know. I mean,
should
but
have taken a picture.
that's such a. I mean, we don't think of those. That's such a weird thing to think of. Like, oh, look at this fancy cup. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'd love to see. Like, I still can't picture what it would look like in my head.
Well, now I got to go to more music festivals.
I'd say so.
Find one of these cups.
You did miss the biggest music festival in Czech Republic when you first got there. I forgot what it was called. That was a longer time.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I forget what it was, too.
But that was like
This isn't a music festival, but I think I may have told you, I'm trying to go see Buddy Guy in November.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah. That would be cool. In Czech Republic?
In Prague. That will be actually... In all these years of touring, this will be his first year ever in the Czech Republic, and I just so happen coincidentally to be here while he performs. So,
well, I'm gonna put this on tape. This is gonna be now recorded, so we're gonna do it. That should be our Prague on the road again.
Oh, good call. All right, sounds good.
And we can also
make that happen.
talk Buddy Guy a little bit. See how the concert was. Are you going by yourself?
Yep.
Okay, I figured you were. So on the road again should be easy to do then.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Unless I make a bunch of blues friends and then we'll have some random blues guests on the show.
Or just get Buddy Guy on the bring a second microphone just in case.
Because I'm sure they'll let me slip that through security.
Just in case.
Right.
Bring a second microphone.
He would be super interesting to talk to, though, man. I mean, he was like the start of the Electric Blues in Chicago.
That would be a 4-hour podcast, and I wouldn't say anything. It would just be you.
Right? Right? Oh, man, that would be so crazy. Yeah, it would be awesome. And, hopefully in the future of our podcast, we definitely will have some interesting guests on here as well.
Like Buddy Guy in a month or so. Wait, when did you say the concert was?
November.
Okay.
So you got to wait a little
2
longer.
months.
But yeah, so that'll be sweet. I think whenever you're living anywhere, it's important to kind of know when some events are. And since I've been here a month, I'm trying to really set my calendar for the next 9 months I'll be here.
What I've liked most about hearing about your explorations through the Czech Republic is how much cheaper everything is than here.
Although I think Prague is okay, but you got to know where to go.
Okay. So you have the benefit of being in a smaller town.
Exactly. Yeah, things here are really cheap, but if you go to Prague, I mean, some places they'll charge you like 100, well, still I guess a little cheaper than American standards, but still, like, it's funny when I tell Czech people how much I paid for things in Prague, like the look on their faces, they're like, what? Like, you paid 60 to 70 crowns for a beer, and like, it's like $3 or $4.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Somewhere around there. Right.
I mean, that's not nothing, but that's like lower end of the going rate.
Especially in the United States.
Yeah.
Alcohol is so expensive in the United States.
Have you ever told any of these non-American, or can they relate, or is it shocking to them also how much we pay for books in college?
Oh, that's a good question. I've never talked to them specifically about books, but they don't understand why college tuition is so expensive.
Right. Yeah, that
especially,
makes sense.
what a lot of people hear is, the United States is one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Which then, if it's so wealthy, why is healthcare so damn expensive, and why is higher education so damn expensive?
Here at the Untranslatable podcast, we strive to take down the 1%.
That's right.
And become the 0.03% ourselves. And then spread that money out properly and responsibly among everyone else, because that's what we do. Anyway.
Exactly. Which I think actually leads us to our shout-outs this episode. I have a few I'd like to share with our listeners. The first shout-out I want to give is to, in my opinion, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Mr.
Chad,
Michael Jordan.
Oh.
What?
I thought you were about to say me, but okay.
I mean, you aren't the greatest of all time in basketball. You're the greatest
fair.
of all time in a lot of other things.
That's fair. All right. What did Michael Jordan do?
He donated, how much was it? I believe $2 million to North Carolina for hurricane relief.
Oh, nice. That's where he's from, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. And he played college for North Carolina.
Parada.
One of the reasons why I was it is pretty great. One of the reasons why I was a Tar Heels fan when I was a kid. The other shout out I'd like to give is apparently in Washington, D.C., a group of Marines saved all the elderly people in this old folks home, and the old folks home caught on fire, and they saved every single person in there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How did it catch on fire? Did you see that?
I'm not sure how it caught on fire.
Man.
But yeah, they saved everybody.
That's
got
impressive.
everybody out there, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So shout out to our Marines for helping all those helpless elderly people, caught in a burning building. That's really amazing. And the last shout out I have to give, once again, just like our last episode, give it to a country, in this case 2 countries. Have you heard anything exciting about any countries in the continent of Africa lately, Jared?
Chad, thanks for exposing my ignorance. I am not.
That's okay. I didn't know about this until earlier today either. But Ethiopia, and I believe it's Eritrea?
Oh, Eritrea? Eritrea?
Thank you.
Which one is-
Eritrea. Thank you.
Or is it Eritrea?
Ethiopia and Eritrea. Thank you, Jared. See, now you're exposing my ignorance, so we're even. But they finally have made peace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So actually, in July.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. So in July, the leaders of the nation signed a declaration, and they agreed to reestablish trade and diplomatic ties. 2 weeks later, the first Ethiopia-Eritrea flights for 2 decades took to the skies, and all the passengers on those planes were served champagne to celebrate.
Kind of like a bus ride in the Czech Republic.
Right? No kidding. But it's really great because, like, some of these people, have been able to reunite with their families.
Yeah.
There's one woman who said that thanks to peace among these 2 countries now, they found their dad in their Eritrean dad after 21 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So that's just a really great and positive story.
There's a I don't know much about the conflict, but there was a podcast I listened to called The Mental Illness Happy Hour, and it was with a woman that is from. She was from. Let me check. I believe she had family from both Eritrea and Ethiopia, and she was just talking about how difficult like it was in her family, essentially kind of having to like choose sides and
Right.
and like the mom side of the family hating the dad side of the family and all that stuff, and it was just a super interesting story. And I had not known much. I mean, this came out. Let me check. This came out like a year ago, maybe, or something like that. But I had not heard much about that whole. 2 years ago on November 4th, and I had not heard much about like that whole conflict until then. And I thought the story was super interesting.
Right. I feel like, sadly, a lot of American news outlets, they focus a lot on what's going on in the United States, which is fair, but
Yeah.
I like to also hear what's going on around the world, especially when it's something positive like that,
Right. And it's both. See, I'm stuck because it's both hard to really shine enough light on all these conflicts that happen around the world. Like, there's a part of me that thinks that there's not enough time. Yet you also then hear about how in 2018 we have this 24-hour news cycle, and people are always trying to feed news and shove it down your throat. And it's like, yeah, I guess it's how it's. But I don't know. I'm conflicted.
Right. Yeah, I don't think.
But people also, just in general, I will say, I'm sorry. People also in general, including me, I'm not blaming anyone out there. Just don't also read enough on their own time.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think, though, too, the 24-hour news cycle, I don't think it's necessarily healthy to just be bombarded by news all the time, especially because so much of it is negative, which is why we here at the Untranslatable Podcast want to give these positive shout-outs, send some positive vibes out into such a negative world.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. When I at my last job, I used to put on NPR in the background, and it wasn't like wait, don't tell me, and like it was just like the news cycle of NPR on their website. And after a couple months of doing that, I had to stop. It was bumming me out. You hear they talk about it's just constant stories about, and that's like just the straight up NPR news cycle on, especially on the radio, is just a consistent loop of stuff happening all over the world that is pretty depressing. And I was like, I can't just constantly have this pumping into my head. I mean, like I did feel way more informed just about, not like I knew that much about everything, but just generally relations around the world. But it was just like, I can't do this. This is exhausting.
Yeah, it's depressing. I also think, sadly, too, another aspect that people in our generation and younger generations are dealing with is I think a lot of social media will also make you depressed.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if you're constantly on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I feel like people tend to compare themselves with the personas they see online, right? But it's like I highly doubt a lot of these pictures and other things that people post, are really true. Like maybe not true, but like they show you a certain side that people want to see. You don't get to see the full picture, you know?
Of course. Every time not every time. Sometimes when I'm on, say, YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, really any sort of social media, I'll purposely look at the comments knowing they're going to make me mad. Knowing there's going to see stuff that's going to piss me off, I'm going to say, like, let's see what these ignorant motherfuckers had to say today. And I'll be like, God damn it. And I'll be like, I knew this was going to be here when I scrolled down to look at it. Like, I could only be so mad because I seeked it out almost like out of some sort of like sadistic, I want to get pissed or something. I don't know what it is. It's not that I want to get pissed, but it's like, I want to, like, it's like, I know that there's some ignorance here that's going to make me mad. Let me see if I'm right. And it's like, of course you are. There's a 1,000+ comments on this thing. And it's the internet. What do you expect?
Very true, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people just do a lot of trolling on the internet because, you know, you can put some avatar up and create an account that, like, people can't really track to see who you really are. And you can write whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I oftentimes have to...
Society.
Right? No kidding. I oftentimes definitely have to restrain myself from engaging in a lot of these people. There's a few people that grew up in my hometown, and they just politically and what have you have very, very different opinions from my own. And a lot of times they'll post things though that it's like it's not even remotely true. And my knee-jerk reaction is to write a comment or something and like show them, like, give them a link of like some actual factual information. And then I'm like,
don't do that.
These people don't care about facts. You can't argue with facts. That's not going to work.
I haven't done it as much recently, but kind of post-college, but a couple of years ago. I spent a lot of time just going through Facebook and just, like, as I saw stuff that I thought was stupid on my news feed, just deleting people right away. And, like, I probably dropped my friends list in about a year by, like, at least 100 people just because I was like, I don't need this BS in my life. It's like, I don't even talk to you anymore. Why am I seeing all this garbage that I don't even like?
Yeah,
it felt good.
True.
But then there got to a point where I was like, if I keep this up at this pace, I might as well just leave my Facebook because it's going to be like 5 people in there.
I would be honored to be one of those 5, Jared.
Oh, you were one of the first to go. I snuck you back in when we brought up this whole podcast thing. So yeah, let's do some untranslatables. Enough of our complaining.
Right.
Speaking of positivity, like as you tried to end the shout out segment nicely talking about positivity, let's talk about some untranslatables.
Let's do it.
I got some good ones.
Oh, good. Okay, well hit me with one, Jared.
My first one is Finnish, and this is something that I would say my spirit animal. It's not an animal, by the way. Kalazarikenet is just, that's it. That's the word, but it's 2 words, and the 2 words are underwear drunk.
Underwear drunk. Okay. Can you give me an example?
Yeah. So today's Sunday, and say for the listeners, that's a little breaking the fourth wall. Today's actually Sunday that we record this. And say after we finish recording this, it'll be maybe 4:00, and I just sit down on my sofa, light some candles, take off all my clothes, and get drunk and just relax.
So it just means to hang out or relax?
It means to get drink home alone in your underwear, literally.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Solid.
Yeah.
Why don't we need to have like a word like that?
Underwear drunk.
We need to bring that into the
English
vernacular.
We have shower beer. Is that an American thing?
Not the same level as underwear drunk, I feel.
Yeah.
Plus,
shower beers are tough too. Like, I feel like that's better in theory than in reality. It's like I don't spend that much time lollygagging in a shower, and also the beer has to be strategically placed so it's not getting water in it.
Right. See, thankfully, my apartment here in the Czech Republic is actually
yours is
optimal
perfect
for shower beers.
Yeah, you should be getting naked drunk with shower beers.
I mean, I had a shower beer yesterday before the festival, actually. I'm not even joking.
Chad actually, at the end of a long day, takes off all of his clothes and sits in the shower and cracks a cold Pilsner. And that's
right.
how he relaxes.
Living my best
what
Czech
you need
life,
to start
man.
doing is getting some Epsom salts, soak your feet a little bit.
Okay,
And really
I like where this
treat
is going.
yourself. I use Epsom salt, actually. Sometimes, I'll admit this here on the Untranslatable podcast. Your boy sometimes takes baths. And what I'll do...
I do too. I love baths.
I'll turn on the bathtub. I'll put some Epsom salt in there and either put a little bit of coconut oil and or olive oil. And that's why my whole body is kissably smooth. My whole body.
So you're ready
Except
for
my
those,
face. Except for my face.
for that underwear drunk a few hours later. I like it.
Unfortunately, my face is unkissably hideous. So that's where the struggle comes in. It's smooth but hideous.
So that should be if you ever start a like a men's grooming company. That's what you should call it.
Smooth but hideous.
Yeah.
Smooth but hideous by Jared.
That'll
be my Fenty.
Yeah, there you go.
For all the smooth for all the ugly men out there that need loving too.
That's right. All right, Jared. Well, I got because we're talking about my first month in the Czech Republic, I thought it would be fitting to give you a bunch. Well, not a bunch, but 3 Czech untranslatables for you.
Okay.
I figure by the time we're finished with recording these untranslatables in Czech, hopefully I'll be fairly fluent in Czech by the end of
I'd say so.
all these podcast episodes.
I'm getting
right?
pretty good myself. I know Hezky kluk.
yeah?
And I don't really know how to say the English one, to be honest with you. Even though
Which
I hear
one's
it all
the
the
English
time.
one?
Mluvite
anglicky.
Mluvite anglicky, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so here we go. This one is ponut kostru, which literally means to move one's skeleton.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean to beat someone up?
Nope.
Does that mean to scare someone?
Not really. We have an idiom in English that you can use with this, but it sounds different. So, like for example, if you were coming with me to a music festival, right, and you're enjoying your shower beer and you're getting underwear drunk, but we're running late, I might say, move your skeleton.
Oh, hurry up.
Yeah, it means the English equivalent would be to shake a leg.
Yeah, I mean, but no one under 65 says that, but
right.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're bringing it back, Jared. Shake a leg. But yeah, ponut kostru. Kostru, I can't say the R with the T just yet with the roll.
By the way,
yeah.
speaking of things that only people in their 60s have, it's untranslatable time.
That's right.
The untranslatable cuckoo clock is a little late, but here nonetheless.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
What do you got for me, Jared?
I got a Serbian one for you. No sam para oblak. Or oblake, or oblake. Oblakey, oblak.
Balake?
Yeah, balake. And that translates to, he's ripping clouds with his nose.
Is that a cocaine reference?
No, but I wish it was. That's hilarious.
Ripping
That sounds
with
like
your nose.
like the ultimate like cocaine doer.
Right?
Yeah, it's like, wow, this guy can really do some cocaine.
Right? He's ripping clouds with his nose. Does that mean, is that like you're like stuck up?
Close, very close. I'd say that's on the cusp. I'd give you a quarter ham horn if I had put that. I still haven't put that into my fixed that in my soundboard yet, so I can't do it yet. It's easy to do. I just haven't done it.
Right. No worries.
But
you're a busy guy.
I'd say you're on the very close and on the right track, but I'd say you need a little bit more. He's ripping clouds with his nose. Think about it. If he's ripping clouds with his nose,
arrogant.
His nose is in the air. I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you one on that.
Yeah.
It means a person.
What do we say? Don't we say something like that?
Your nose, your nose is in the air. You're holding your nose up at people, maybe.
Right.
It means,
right.
But I think it's a little less that because it means a person is excessively proud of oneself or vain.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like pretty arrogant.
So
to
you
me,
were
I would say.
on the right path, and I'd say you finally squeaked your. If I turned to the judges, and they said,
All right, Jared. So I got another Czech one for you.
Okay.
And it is Jedno za uherský rok.
Oh, you
which
said that very
means
well, I would guess.
I'm trying my best. You know, that's all I can do with this Czech. But jedno za uherský rok is once in a Hungarian year.
Oh, is that offensive? Like to Hungarians?
I don't think so. I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully our Hungarian listeners aren't going to be angry with us.
Is it the same as once in a blue moon?
Hit that ham horn, my dude. Yes.
Blue moon.
Yeah.
Meaning every once in a while or rarely happening. Okay. What is that? I feel like that's got to be offensive to Hungarians. Meaning Hungarians are unreliable or rarely happens or... Hey, Hungarians, tell us why the Czechs hate you.
I'm actually going to Google that because I am curious. Let's see here. I'm going to see if I can find the etymology or the meaning of it. I'm not sure why they use it though. And see, it's funny if you look it up on bab.la, which is like a Czech English dictionary. It says once in a blue moon. It doesn't even translate it.
That's the farthest they'll go for you. I mean, everybody knows what once in a blue moon, though. But that is funny, though, because they're technically translating it with another idiom. Like, that's not really a translation. That's another idiom.
Really, right.
Because someone that's using Babla that doesn't speak English and that's trying to figure out how do you say that phrase in English, and they'd see once in a blue moon, they'd get it, but they'd also be like, blue moon? What does the blue moon have to do with anything?
Exactly. Well, I think that one makes more sense.
Oh, because blue moons are a rare occurrence?
Right.
Yeah,
whereas,
as I say that, I was like, oh yeah, I guess maybe that does make sense.
But yeah, I'm not so sure about the Hungarian New Year, but yeah. Anyways, or Hungarian year. Anyways, what other untranslatables do you have, Jared?
I have one more, and it's Thai. Si sor hai quai fang. And I love also, I mean, it's so funny because in my notes I'll also put not only like, the Roman letters, but I'll put what the characters are if they're different. Mm-hmm. And it's for no one. No one's going to see my notes.
Right.
But I love seeing the the different alphabets, and the Thai one is definitely a unique one. And literally translated, that means to play the violin for the buffalo to listen to.
Didn't we do this one?
Damn it. Did we? Did you do it? Because I don't think I did it.
I don't think... I thought you did this one because it sounds familiar.
I don't think I did it. I mean, for example,
check my memory.
I mean, Chad, I just spent like 2 hours putting all of my previous untranslatables into one file. I feel like I would... Granted, it's a lot of copy and pasting, but I feel like I would remember that.
Well, here, let me see if my memory is right. Isn't this like when you're
Oh, we could go to the list. I did just put them all there. Let's go to the list.
All right. Well, here, I also want to give this another stab.
I think
I'll
go to the
list
basically...
Isn't this basically sort of play violin to a buffalo or something, right? Isn't that what that means?
The play the violin for the buffalo to listen to is the literal translation.
So it's like you're talking to somebody who's not listening, right?
Yeah, I'll give you that. Talking to a brick wall. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm going to our list of untranslatable phrases to see if I've done it before. Because how dare you accuse me.
Sounded familiar.
Of such...
What would be even crazier is if that's... it is? Okay.
Oh, and it was pretty recent, too. It was episode 23.
Oh, damn.
I don't remember that, though, because, see, I look at it, and I remember... Actually, I remember specifically... I didn't even look this up. I remember taking it from this list, because I thought that was one that I skipped, but clearly if you remember it, then I didn't skip it. I'm sorry, everyone.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. They get extra language. They get extra language input. Nothing wrong with that.
This is a review. This will be on the test at the end of the semester. And I'm glad you caught it because that means you've been paying attention in class.
I tried, Jared. What can I say?
And I'm going to give myself
all right, Jared. My
lashes.
last untranslatable for you is also Czech.
I'm playing a violin, and I am also the buffalo.
All right. Well, then I'm assuming you're not going to get this
idiom.
one.
I'm neither listening to myself, and I am still playing. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. So this one, as I said, is Czech, and it is to není moje parketa, and it means it is not your Parquet, or more loosely, it is not your dance floor.
Is that what a parquet is?
Apparently, yes.
Does that kind of mean like it's not your business? This is an A and B conversation, so see your way out.
Kind of. I think it's more.
You can't handle what's happening here.
No. I would say in English we would say that's not my forte.
Okay. All right.
So it's like not your field
not
of
my
expertise.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, hey Chad, I'm gonna give you a
Hezky klok
on all of this Czech.
Well, thank you.
And it's not even over yet because we still got a Czech word of the pod.
You best believe it. And now I think on that note, we should start with our recap of my first month in the Czech Republic that I have so far survived.
Yeah. So it's been a month. Would you say that month has flown by? That's a leading
big time.
question. I'm no lawyer.
Right.
But I feel like it's
flown by. Honestly, though, too, it's kind of weird. I don't know why, but I've been taking a lot of naps. And I wonder, I was thinking about it today when I was thinking of, what to discuss during this segment. And I think a lot of it might just be like, even though I've been here a month, it's still a lot of times a lot of sensory overload. Like whenever I go somewhere, I try to listen to what people are saying and see if I can pick up words. And I am noticing very slowly that I am starting to pick up random words. Sadly, a lot of them have to be either English or German cognates, which there aren't many of them.
I mean, it's got to start somewhere.
Right.
I wouldn't say
exactly.
Sadly. I'd say that's a positive. Because I feel like
that's true.
Even if they were English or German cognates, just arriving in that language and not really understanding like the different intonations and all that stuff, it would still be pretty easy to miss those English and German cognates that once you hear them and once you start hearing them in conversation or while eavesdropping on other people's conversation, you start to pick up because it's like, oh, wait, that sounds familiar because I've heard it a couple times. Right. And I know what that could be. Where just 2 weeks ago, I would have not even noticed that they just said that English word that I actually do know.
Right. Very true.
So you mentioned that Duna place. I was going to say, do you have a favorite restaurant?
I haven't been going out to eat very often.
So I struggle with this. What does Chad take me through Chad's day meal wise? Because you don't know how to cook.
Right.
You don't eat out.
Really shitty cook.
I know what you have for lunch.
What do I have for lunch?
No, well, you have you start with a soup of some sort always.
Yep.
And then you get your $2 or your $2.50-ish meal, which varies at the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always going to be sausage as an option.
Also on Friday, I had.
Do they serve beer at the cafeteria, by the way?
No, it's a school cafeteria.
I know, but I don't know. It's
but
Europe.
I heard from one of my fellow English teachers in the Czech Republic that at the university cafeteria, some places do serve beer.
Okay, all right.
So that's
for
kind of
students or for teachers.
I would assume for everybody because everybody in theory should be of drinking age who's eating there. But interestingly as well, the drinking age in the Czech Republic is actually 18.
Oh, so not a prodigy, just a normal. I was going to say, if you're like some sort of 15-year-old in college.
Right, exactly.
Okay. So, what's your, are you a breakfast eater? You seem like you eat a lot. No offense, because you're in great shape. Chad works out a lot. He likes to lift weights. He's buff. He gives me his old shirts that he doesn't fit. Because he'll just bust the room, and I wear them because I'm scrawny and worthless.
Hulk out of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say worthless.
Dude,
I wouldn't say scrawny either.
You know those green and blue kind of checkered dress shirt you gave me years ago? I still wear those to work like on a consistent basis.
Nice. I bought that shirt in Vienna, by the way.
It's a great shirt. It's great quality. I love it.
It is.
It's also a great summer shirt too.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, I would wear that.
It's a little tight on me too. It's a little tight on me too, so I can imagine it being tight on you.
Well, I have to buy a large here in Europe because like a medium will fit, but it is tight.
Yeah,
it is. Really
that
tight.
one's a little tight on me, but I can make it work.
Right. I'll bet you can. But so you asked me what my average day looks like or what I eat. So Usually I'll get up, depending on what time I have to be at school, I'll get up at either like 7 or 8 usually. And I actually, like, there's this like little protein drink here that I just buy them. They're like in vanilla or chocolate, 30 grams of protein. And I usually that's usually actually what I have for breakfast because it's quick and easy.
The real question is how much sugar?
Here, I got one right here. Let me look.
Well,
we'll see. Jared's always calling me out on the sugar. Yeah, not ideal.
Sugar's the
30
murderer.
grams of protein and 7 grams of sugar, so
Okay.
it's not great. But it doesn't advertise being sugar-free either. But
I don't think
Yeah,
sugar-free
it's
is. I don't think things that advertise sugar-free are theoretically better either. By the way,
no, I would agree with you. But yeah, so I'll
'Cause there's
have
other
like a
things in there
protein
that aren't
drink.
just straight up sugar that sweeten
Right.
it, that are just as bad,
Right.
if not worse. Just saying.
That's true, yeah. But anyway, so I'll have a protein drink. Then I'll go get lunch at the cafeteria, or as they call it here, they call it the canteen. Or do you remember the Czech word? Quizzing you here, putting you on the spot for cafeteria.
No.
Jídlo is the word for food.
Jídlova.
Jídelna
Jídelna.
is
Jídlo.
cafeteria.
You eat the jídlo and the jídelna.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how to say I eat lunch? Or is that too much?
Oh, not yet. No.
All right, it's only been a month.
not there
That's
yet,
what we're talking about.
unfortunately.
Another question I've been asking. I've been wanting to ask because you've been teasing me with this. Have you gone on any bike rides yet?
Oh yeah, I haven't taken any pictures because I left my phone here.
What kind of exploration have you explored? It's beautiful.
Just
sentence,
kind of around town.
Okay.
Nowhere really new yet.
Are you the kind of
Although-
person to just get on your bike and fucking go, and just be like,
Yeah, a lot
off?
of times, if I have time, yeah. But like I said,
As you
I've
just
also
said a
been
second ago, you've been taking a lot of naps. Don't take up a lot of your time.
Exactly. Those have been taking up some of my time. Yeah, I've been taking, not every day, but like on the weekends for sure, I usually take a nap. And then Thursday and Friday, I have a shorter teacher load. So I'm done teaching at like 11.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah. So I'll go to the Jídelna and get my jídlo and then come home and take a nap usually.
Okay. When I used to have half days, which was a summer thing, so that's over, it was only on Fridays, but I would definitely, on Fridays, often take naps after I got home from work.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
Yeah. I felt a little, I always feel a little guilty, but I still do it, so how guilty am I really?
Right.
Is there anything, that you've started to miss about home? Anything that you're missing, or you're like, I wish I had that, or I miss not having that?
Well, a couple of things.
Besides for me.
Right, of course. A couple of things. I mean, the main thing, obviously, is just close friends and family. Mm-hmm. Obviously, definitely miss my girlfriend a lot. And it's funny because my students always ask about her. So, like, I talk about her a lot, like, during the school day, which then, in turn, like anything, makes you think about it more.
Yeah.
Which then makes you miss it more. But it is what it is. And then, obviously, friends and family are a big one.
How often do you talk to people back home that aren't me?
Yeah, because I talk to you on a daily basis, basically.
I feel like because we do this podcast, I'm not, I mean, lucky. I guess it depends on who you're talking to. But, like, I talk to you probably, if not more than anyone, just as much as any of your family or friends that are back in Michigan.
I would agree with you, and at the same time too, I feel like because I'm talking to you about pod stuff, I sometimes have the same feeling that you do, buddy, where like you don't want to annoy that person.
Yeah.
You know, because I definitely have friends back home that like I'll write them a couple of times, and then I'll kind of stop and I'll be like, all right, like I don't want to get on their nerves. Whereas with you and I, like it's always for the pod. Let's be real.
Well, that's also the great thing about us having the podcast, though, is we spend a lot of our time when we're not recording talking about podcast related stuff to the point where I never really hear about, we never really actually talk about that when we do, but we don't talk as much about what's actually going on in your day-to-day life and how like how Czech Republic is. Like I didn't even know you'd gone on a bike ride yet.
Right.
And so
I've only been on 2 or 3 though, so I haven't been on that many. And the helmet that my mentor gave me is a little big.
Okay.
And so I've been going helmetless.
Do they wear a lot of helmets there?
Most adults I see don't wear helmets.
Mm-hmm.
The only people you see wear helmets are like the serious bikers who have like the
road bikes.
super expensive crazy bike and the
carbon
the
fiber
suit. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wear a helmet, but that's only because I almost primarily mountain bike, and I've often fallen off my bike.
Yeah, and a mountain bike, you don't want to fall and not have a helmet if you're mountain biking.
Right.
That's a recipe for disaster. Plus, let's be real, Jared. You got a lot of good brains in there. You got to protect.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Gotta keep this podcast running.
I'm gonna go drink a shower beer and think about that, or underwear beer. Excuse me.
I was gonna say, just make sure if you have enough that you turn that shower beer to an underwear beer.
Is the long distance relationship tough? Because this is not your first. You've had many long distance relationships because you're often dating people from Europe or being in Europe while you're dating. You're always dating someone. First of all, I don't know if I've ever known you to be single for longer than like a month.
And I don't plan it that way either. I really don't. It just somehow happens. My rule of thumb is if you're not looking for it, you're gonna find it.
You
but if
think
you're
so?
looking for it, oh yeah. But if you're looking for something, you're not gonna find it.
Chad's definitely not looking because he's never not found it. You always. I couldn't think of the last time you've been single.
It's been a while, man. The last time was probably summer of 2016.
Oh, for a summer?
Yep, for a summer. Well, a spring and a summer, but yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, but anyways,
a lot of underwear beers back then for Chad.
I mean, oh, for sure, a ton
Why
of
does
them.
no one like me?
Exactly.
So
but
yeah,
I mean,
how is the long distance relationship?
I mean, it's tough. It's.
Do you send care packages? Are you a care package sender? Does your girlfriend listen to this, by the way?
That's a good question. I'm not
okay,
really
because
sure.
I don't want her to be like, yeah, why don't you send me care packages?
Right? Yeah, Jared's putting me on blast out here. Goddamn.
I feel like I should stop before Chad's like, thanks. Now I've never written so many love letters in my life.
Right. I mean, I don't send care packages, but I also don't expect her to send me any, because it's expensive sending stuff all the way here.
Yeah.
Even a small package will run you, not even the contents within the package, but just sending the package alone might be $40-$50.
I shipped something a couple of weeks ago, locally, meaning domestically, and I had to buy a box as well. But at the end, I walked out of there paying it was a suit that I was returning for after my sister's wedding, and so it wasn't that heavy. I mean, and it cost me all after buying the box and the shipping $28 or something like that.
Yeah, I believe it.
And I was like, what? I was like, get out of here. I was like, this
yeah,
is
it's
ridiculous.
expensive. So that's why we don't do care packages. A lot of it's really just texting, Snapchat here and there, FaceTime, WhatsApp calling, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we have way different schedules, and she works full time, and she also is going to getting her master's in public health. Yeah, she's hustling for sure. But I got to give it to her, man. She's been really supportive through this whole thing. She could have just said, "All right, well, you're moving abroad. I'm done." I mean.
Well, and also to date you, I think it's going to come up pretty early in the relationship, probably even before you guys are in some sort of relationship with anyone. That's like, oh, this person clearly likes traveling and languages and teaching, and clearly is trying to teach English and teach German, and that probably leads. Obviously, it still requires some sort of communication, but it's like I feel like it's easy to infer or for it to come up that you're looking to get out of the U.S. at some point. Like that's a goal in your life, and it's been a goal for a while.
Well, yeah, I just love traveling and living in different places. And actually, it's funny you mentioned that because I shit you not, literally on our first date, I told her all this.
There you go.
I just figured, what? You got to be forthright. You got to be honest about everything.
It's almost impossible to not even hide it because there's no reason to quote unquote hide it. But it's almost impossible to keep that to yourself because it's your life.
Right, absolutely. And I had actually just come back from Germany.
Of course.
I was back in the States for a month, and then we started dating.
As I just said, Chad's never single, everyone. He was back from Germany for a month. And
so yeah, but it's been good. hopefully, if everything works out well, she'll be able to come visit me in December, which will be really nice.
Mm-hmm. Does she not have a ticket yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Nope. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
It's all about timing, though, because I bet you it's just all about when you do it. Get those price alerts. Start gambling.
Exactly. That's what I told her. So yeah, we'll see. But I think the thing that's more difficult, though, it's not the long distance relationship itself. It's that, I've noticed that Czech people in a lot of ways are like a lot of other Europeans where, they aren't afraid to show a little bit of PDA. So
really?
When I was at the music festival,
that was a European thing. Even in Germany?
Yeah, I think so. I think people show some PDA. I don't think they're like, hardcore, like tongue down each other's throat on public transportation PDA. But I think people, hold hands and will kiss each other in public and things like that.
Yeah. PDA makes
so
me
that
a
does make it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
you say seeing all the happy couples bums you out a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Fuck you guys.
Exactly.
You think you're happy?
Exactly.
Just wait till one of them moves away.
Exactly. But the other thing is too.
He's gonna leave you. Excuse me.
The other thing about it though too. Well, if I'm anyways,
if you're yelling, he's gonna leave you.
Right.
Did you get that? No.
The other thing too though is like in some ways I think the adjustment has been a little easier being here by myself because I don't have to worry about, like, if she were to be here with me, I would want to make sure, she was comfortable and she had everything she needed. Mm-hmm. Whereas here, now that I'm just all by myself, like, really, at least here physically in the Czech Republic, I'm the only person I'm responsible for.
Yeah.
Whereas when she comes to visit in December, I'm going to be, feeling very responsible and have to, show her a good time and make sure she's happy and healthy, Yeah,
I mean, I think she can handle her health, but with the other things I agree with. She comes back with the bubonic plague. Ooh. I mean, I hope you had a good time.
That'd be rough.
We did see those beautiful castles. Don't forget that.
Exactly. Priorities.
Oh yeah. How is it with your parents?
Good. We're actually probably going to FaceTime after we're done recording this episode for a little bit. I mean, this is nothing new for my parents. I mean, they've known. I mean, in a lot of ways, they're kind of to blame as well. They were the ones who took me to Germany the first time that made me want to really travel and explore more.
It's their fault for expanding your mind and showing you the world.
Exactly. Those damn parents. No, but thank you, Mom and Dad, in all realness.
Well, yeah,
sure.
no, I guess that's fair. And I mean, this is essentially what they would want to see from you is you doing what you want to do and making money doing it as well. So,
oh yeah, I feel like any parent is, for sure.
I guess this is the whole point of being a parent is for you to do stuff like that.
Right. It was actually funny. My mom texted me on WhatsApp a couple weeks ago. She's like, "I'm so proud of you for living your dreams."
Wow.
Yeah.
I wish I had an awe, but all I have is the gun or the ham horn.
I think either of those would not be appropriate sound drops for that, but that's just me. But yeah, what other questions do you have for me?
What do you think that? I mean, what is it about living abroad that you think you're getting that you can't get in America? Because it seems like you have this almost like it's a need like that. It seemed like, as I said before, it was inevitable that you were gonna end up there. It's not Czech Republic, but somewhere outside of America at some point soon. What is that?
I think it's just I think it's important for everybody to live with people with a different background, slightly different opinions and ideas, and kind of a different lifestyle, And for me, the Czech Republic was one of the places I wanted to pick because historically the Czech Republic has, a really just interesting past with all the different regimes that were in the Czech Republic. I mean, the Czech Republic itself is only,
20-something years old?
24 years old?
It was 93, wasn't it? That they split
yeah, it
up?
was 93. Yeah, so
25 years old.
right. And then obviously the languages is a big part of it. You know, I would have never probably honestly ever even tried to take up Czech had I have not moved here.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, and unfortunately, I mean, there's, you know, really the only people that you'll probably meet who speak Czech are here in the Czech Republic. Like, I've been told by a lot of people, even in this first month I've been here, they're like, why are you trying to learn Czech? Why are you even, and I've heard them say, why are you wasting your time learning Czech? Which to me is a little
Bummer.
sad. Yeah, it's a little sad and discouraging. Like,
this is your language. Have some pride.
right. But I think they also know that.
But it is
you know,
I mean, pragmatically, they're making a valid point because it's,
Right.
it's like it's not like this is some sort of language that's going to ever really be of any use outside of here.
Right.
But it's like you could say, hey, maybe I'm never leaving Czech Republic, or I'm trying to become a polyglot, and I make that joke a lot. But like, just like you learning you learning Czech is probably going to make you a better German speaker, and it's probably going to make it easier. Like, it's proven that learning other languages makes it easier to like the more you learn other languages and the more you know, makes it easier to retain and learn. So even if you do nothing with it after you leave, it's still a great exercise. Even if you forget it 2 years later.
Right. It's great for your brain, and this definitely will not, mark my words, y'all heard it here first. This is definitely not my last time in the Czech Republic. I really love this country. The people here are fantastic.
Also, you have 9 months before you even have to consider where you're going.
Right.
You just got there. So it's not your last time because you're there right now for the next 9 months at least.
Right. But even after that time, you know, I'm sure, you know, I got to say, man, I feel really at home and really happy here in Chomutov. The people are really friendly. It has more of a small town or town feel than, like, obviously if you go to a big city like Prague
kind of
or
what you're used to,
Brno.
though.
Right, and that's what I like. And I love the landscape here. For all our listeners, you can check out our Instagram page there's plenty of pictures of Chomutov, and there's more to come. And yeah, I mean, it's just a really nice place. And the funny thing is that a lot of Czechs don't come here because there's this stereotype that it's this like ugly industrial area. And not to expose all of Chomutov's secrets, but it's very green and beautiful here.
Give it about 2 years, and the Untranslatable podcast will be responsible for the biggest tourist boom in the Czech Republic since Prague.
There you go. And the other thing is, too, like, I met some of the other people in my organization in Prague, and some of them are living in Prague doing research or whatever. And they were talking to me, and they asked me, and they said, well, am I really going to get the Czech experience in Prague? I felt kind of bad telling them this, but I wanted to be real with them. And I told them, well, not really, because Prague is so metropolitan. Every time I'm in Prague, I hear a ton of English and a bunch of other languages. Here in Chomutov, I'll hear German occasionally, Vietnamese, because there is a high population of Vietnamese in the Czech Republic due to a communist pact from way back in the day. And then otherwise, though, it's all Czech.
Okay.
And I feel like here, you know, my experiences here are going to be a lot different than someone who goes to like Prague or Berlin or, you know, a big city with a lot of international people, which isn't a bad thing on its own. But yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean, we would never fault someone for wanting to go to Prague or Berlin or Paris or whatever. Those are great cities in their own right. But it is tough to really fully immerse into the culture and even really understand the culture, I think, in those cities where it's so multicultural, especially through tourism,
Right.
that you're not really getting a fair shake. Constantly scared in Czech Republic that someone's gonna, or I guess Paris too, or Berlin as well, that someone's gonna pickpocket you, and you're like, ugh, look at those air monarchs and those yelling Americans over there.
Right. Yeah. I feel really safe here in Chomutov. I've never felt like I'm going to get pickpocketed. The way I walk to the kebab place, though, sometimes like I'll get a kebab at night, and there are like a group of a couple homeless dudes that like will sit outside there. And a few times they've like said stuff to me as I'm like either walking to or from the kebab place, but Since I don't speak Czech, I don't know what they're saying. I just kind of look at them and keep walking.
You don't go.
Mluvite anglicky? I don't, believe it or not. I don't. No.
Excuse me, what was that?
Right.
Please.
Mluvite anglicky? Not quite.
Is there any? So I mean, you've had for the entire time that we've been doing this podcast and you've been in the Czech Republic, you've had almost nothing but good things to say about Chomutov. Are there any disappointments or like anything you're like, man, I wish, like Chomutov is great, but it's not some sort of Narnia. Like there's still things that are I wish this or that.
That's a good question. Well, I guess the one thing that would be nice is there's only a few different like stores here. And so like because I only took one suitcase, you can see on our Instagram like what I brought with me. It was a suitcase, a backpack, and a traveler guitar.
And Chad said he was going to buy nothing while he was abroad, and I quietly to myself howled laughing in my head.
You chuckled.
Like,
I know
Chad,
it.
you'd say that like I've never met you before.
Right.
And then within 2 weeks, Chad's texting me consistently, asking me whether he should buy a carbon fiber guitar or this other acoustic guitar.
Which, by the way, I just ordered. I ordered
nice.
the acoustic guitar. So that
you did not go carbon fiber.
No, it was too expensive.
Right.
And yeah, I wanted to get a guitar that was a European brand. But anyways, that can be a discussion when I get the guitar on the podcast.
Lack of self-control. We could do it
for sure.
We'll talk about this later, but I'm going camping soon, and there's a serious lack of self-control there. Anyway, we'll talk about that next episode.
Oh, for sure.
Because I'm not going yet.
But yeah, so I mean, there's only a few clothing stores here. I'd say if I go shopping, I'm probably going to, like, if I need anything, I'll look here first, but I'll probably end up going to Prague because I've been told by a few people here that although you might be paying a little bit more money in Prague, usually there's a much bigger selection.
Okay.
So
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, a little bit more money, relatively speaking, is still probably going to be a good price for our American brains.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Like I bought a watch here for about $20.
What kind of watch did you buy? I like watches.
I forget the brand of it. It's a brand I've never heard of.
Rolex GMT.
Right.
Pepsi dial. No big deal.
But it's just like a metal, titanium colored watch with a black watch face. It's nothing fancy. I just got it because I'm not, in the States, I would just use my phone as a watch when I was teaching. And here, technically speaking, the students aren't supposed to use their phones at all in class. And so it's kind of hypocritical if the teacher's using their phone. But otherwise, I mean, really, there's a lot to do here. I've been really impressed. There's actually, I think I found my third place, by the way, Jared.
There we go.
For our listeners out there that aren't sure what we're talking about, when we did our episode about settling in,
to all of our episodes,
right? we discussed notes. Right. We discussed having a third place. It's not your place of work or your home. There's this really beautiful park that's maybe a 5-10 minute walk from my apartment. It's got some really nice benches and it's just really pretty. So I think that might become my third place as long as the weather stays nice.
I like a good park. There's I have a couple parks I like going to. One's right down the street. Sometimes I'll go there and I'll kick the ball around with myself, soccer ball. That's nice. And then there are other ones around that I like to go to sit. The only thing I dislike about parks is, especially in the city, it is hard to find parks that have benches, like full on, not benches to sit on, but like benches with table, like park bench kind of bench
like
with
a picnic table.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I gotcha.
And sometimes I like to have that because sometimes I like to write stuff or I like to, I don't know, eat something maybe.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I'll have to see if this park has picnic tables. I'm not sure either. But really, this place has a lot to offer. I've been going to the hockey games, which I don't know if I'm bad luck or what, but we've lost the 2 hockey games I was at. But we also lost the other away games, so sadly we're 0-3.
Wow. Are they known for being are they a bad team, or is this just not a good start?
I think they got this. I think is just a bad start because I think last year they got 4th or 5th in the league.
Okay, all right.
So it's not too bad.
They're not a 0. That's not a 0-3 team right there.
Right. I think it's just a bad start. And actually, one of my students, believe it or not, is on their junior team.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So wait. So I started by asking about disappointments, and somehow it turned back around into you just praising this area.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of I mean, I will say, and I've even heard Czechs complain about this, about just the lack of a lot of options in some grocery stores. Like my mentor suggested that I go to Lidl to buy my groceries because it's a lot cheaper there. But I've gone to Lidl, to Tesco, and to Billa, and Tesco and Billa have a pretty good selection. It's not bad, but Lidl, they only carry a couple of brands, and so there's not a lot to choose from. And I don't know how true this is, but I heard this from one of my colleagues that apparently in terms of food quality in the EU, the Czech Republic and Poland is the lowest. And she also mentioned that in the Czech Republic, like, for example, when I was with Jeff in Berlin and we were at H&M, we got a bunch of clothes that were like last season's that were on clearance, right? Mm-hmm. But apparently those clothes that were last season, they sell here in the Czech Republic for full price.
Oh, as like the new stuff.
Right. So I actually have a colleague who, when she goes to buy any meat products, she actually will drive to Germany because it's, not that far of a drive. And she'll buy all of her meat and stuff in Germany because she says it's better quality, I guess.
Okay. I'll take her word for it.
Right. I mean, yeah, she's from here, so I guess she would know.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, yeah, there's not really anything that's been disappointing. There's some decent pubs here. Had some really good pizza the other day. I got 2 slices, dude, for oh shoot, I don't remember if it was 30 or 60 crowns. But that's like $2, $1 a slice.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Give or take.
Yeah.
So that was pretty good. There's quite a few different, like I said, there's the hockey arena. There's also like they call it the aqua park. It's like a water park that's indoors.
I hate water parks, by the way. I fucking hate.
Well, this one I think is different. It just has like a pool and then like a couple water slides. Okay. It doesn't strike me as like a Kalahari or whatever that water park is called.
Wet and Wild.
About. Exactly.
SeaWorld, where they torture whales.
Right. Those
for
poor
fun.
Whales. But yeah, I don't know though. We'll have to do a recap. Obviously not every month, but in a couple of months, and I'm sure by then there might be something that maybe has disappointed me. But also, I have to admit, so whenever you move to a new country, especially a new culture, you experience culture shock, and it kind of goes in phases, right? So right now, technically, I'm still in like the honeymoon phase where everything's great, everything's exciting, everything's nice. You know what I mean?
It might be fun to compare this to like an episode a year from now, or I guess not a year from now, 8 months from now. You're like, God, I gotta get out of this fucking place. These people are the worst.
Right. Well, yeah, and that's what happens. It goes from
episode 28, Chad.
That's the crazy thing is it goes from like being like really enjoying everything, and then you hit the low, and then you like you said, like you hate everything or everything's frustrating. And then after that, it's kind of like you go up a little bit and then you hit a plateau, and that's kind of just where the acceptance of difference is. But I have to admit, I don't know if you felt this way. And obviously you were in Vienna, 1 semester less than I was. But even the whole time I was there, I felt like I was in the honeymoon stage.
Yeah.
You too?
Yeah, but I was there for a shorter amount of time than you. And also, I think it's a little different when we're surrounded by classmates and there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff to do. Mm-hmm. And it's just the very nature of a study abroad in itself is, I mean, it's like it's fun. But here, I think you're living a realer life. I mean, you go to work, you pay bills, you don't have like, you're not going to parties with kids from other schools around America or
right.
It's just a different feeling. And so the study abroad situation, even though you were there for a year, I mean, you essentially, the majority of people after the first semester was new people. And so that honeymoon phase can kind of start over when you're making new friends again.
Right. Yeah, that's true. The one thing though too that has been a little strange is like once I'm done teaching, a lot of times in the afternoon, I don't have any plans.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, it's great because I can do whatever, which usually leads to me taking a nap. But
That's
like
why we have this is why we have 2-hour podcast, everyone.
right, exactly. But
Chad's
like,
please don't leave me.
I don't want to exactly. I don't like. I want to spend time with my students, but I also don't want to like impose upon them and their regular lives to the point where it's like
That sounds so unlike you. And I'm serious. That was not sarcasm.
okay, why is that
I don't know. You just seem very
imposing?
No, not in a negative way though. I guess yes, but not in a negative way. You just seem very good at putting yourself out there and making yourself available as a friend, especially to new people. I feel like you're very good at that.
That's a good way to put it. I like that.
Yeah, like
Thanks,
I mean, you've
buddy.
been going to hockey games with this fucking guy. You went to I really don't like this guy for some reason.
He's a great guy. If you
I'm
met
sure
him,
he
you'd
is.
really like him.
You went to in Prague when you went to the opera. You went with some dude. Like you're just very good at and you in a freaking choir with a bunch of old people.
Right. Well, I have to.
choir
I have to
kicked you
say
out.
with the yes, no, they didn't kick me out, not yet. But the National Theater, the opera I went to, that was with other English teachers.
Okay.
So it wasn't just some random dude. It's my buddy. Shout out to my homie David. He's awesome.
Well, how do you know him? How do you meet him?
He's also another teacher in my organization.
Oh, so you didn't know him before you moved to the Czech Republic?
No,
Okay,
he was
okay.
actually my roommate in the hotel.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because our last names start with the same letter and they're pretty close. So I think that's how we
it's
got.
alphabetical.
Yeah, but it was he's such a cool dude, and we just clicked, from the moment on. And he studied abroad in Russia, so he had lots of crazy stories to tell me. Let me.
Oh,
tell
I can
you.
imagine. Does he speak Russian?
Oh yeah, he speaks.
cool.
I have no idea how to gauge how good it is, but to me it seems like it's pretty good.
Yeah, for all we know, it could be like me complimenting you on your Czech.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so it's been a good month though, but I'm definitely still in the honeymoon stage or honeymoon phase, whatever the right terminology is.
Yeah.
And I've also been lucky. I'm gonna knock on my wooden chair over here. Knock on wood that most things here have gone fairly smoothly. I mean, there hasn't been any big issues yet. I've been able to pay my bills no problem. It is a little strange though. So the banking system here, whenever you buy something if you buy something online or you pay a bill online, you get a text message from your bank. And you have to type in the code they send you to verify it's you purchasing that thing.
Yeah, I have to do that when I pay my rent because I do it through like a wire transfer through my
Okay.
bank, and they send you a text and then you put that number into the thing.
Right. So that's been a little interesting. And then the other weird thing is here for your bank, you have 2 PIN numbers. You have a 5-digit PIN to get into your account, and then if you want to take money out of the ATM, you have a different PIN number that's
Really?
a 4-digit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's secure. Is it? I mean, I
Right?
guess it is probably secure.
It is.
It also
and
seems like there's more
what's
numbers
funny
to
though is
memorize.
What's funny though is I didn't know that, and so the couple times I went to the ATM, it wouldn't dispense any money because I kept entering in my 5-digit PIN,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize there were 2 different PIN numbers,
And
and nobody ever told me in the bank.
Spat you back a shredded debit
Transaction denied.
card. Ate your card.
Right. So yeah, but it's been a good month so far. I will say I am a little disappointed in myself that I haven't learned more Czech.
You got to cut yourself some slack on that, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
It's also been a while since you've learned a language from scratch. I don't think you realize how hard it is.
I do realize it's tough.
Well, you're being hard on yourself by saying you're disappointed.
Right.
So I'd say maybe you don't.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Just
Or
for
you
me,
just-
it's a whole different process here because, like I think we mentioned in the last episode about how sometimes like I'll go out in public and I'll like have a set like couple of phrases that I want to use so I can speak to the cashier in Czech or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they say something to me back really fast in Czech, and I'm just like, mluvite anglicky? Mluvite anglicky? Exactly. So So yeah, but I can't complain. I really have to thank all of the wonderful people I've met here so far. They've made my adjustment a lot easier. Also, shout out to you, Jared, and also my friends and my family and my girlfriend for also being a good support net. I think that's important whenever you spend any amount of time abroad. And yeah, it's been pretty solid, man. Like I said, don't really have too many negative things to say as of yet. But
how
like
much,
you said, give it a couple months and we'll see.
How much time do you spend thinking about where you're going to travel next? I mean, besides for Polyglot Con, are you actually going to Polyglot Con? Because I
want to.
I tweeted at Polyglot Con. They liked it.
Right.
I think
it'd be great.
Email us and say they want us to be the headliner of it. So we're going to do a live podcast.
Right.
So
fly you out.
That.
That'd be crazy. No, I do want to go. And I think it'd be a really good opportunity to meet a lot of really interesting people and hopefully get us some good interviews.
Other than that, have you thought about like places you want to travel to?
A little bit. So I actually have next Friday off. And so I've been talking to a couple of my English teaching colleagues. And we may go I have a feeling because I'm close to Germany, I'm going to be going to Germany a lot. But I want to go to what?
It's going to be your safe haven.
I mean, yeah, and
yeah,
right. I can understand what's going on around me. Basically, yeah. And you know how much I love speaking German. It's just a lot of fun for me.
Too.
Yeah, it's great. And so we might be going to Dresden and Berlin, possibly. On my list, though, I really want to go to Poland.
Okay.
Go to Warsaw or
Have
Krakow.
you been to Poland before?
Never.
Okay.
So Poland would be cool. Hungary's on my list. I'd love to go see Budapest.
That'd be really nice. Is on the road against. That's all I. That's all. Really, while I'm.
That's all you're hearing, right?
Putting you on the spot. So later, when we talk about podcast off of the mic, I'll be like, "Hey, you mentioned you're gonna do all those on the road against. Bring your mic with you when you go to."
Right.
Poland.
No kidding. The other places too. I mean, obviously, I know I'm going to go back to Austria at some point. Other than that, I'm not really sure just yet. I also don't want to do too much traveling because, I mean, it can be expensive over time, you know?
Right, of course. Have you thought about, like, maybe not a budget, but maybe even, like, a time budget? Like, I'm going to at least try to go somewhere once a month, or I'm going to get out of the country every other month or something like that.
Probably, realistically, I'd say every other month, maybe.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Unless we're talking Germany, because I mean I'm
hop,
like
skip, and
30,
jump.
30 exactly. I'm like 30 minutes from the border, if
it's
that.
a good way to get a bus ticket and some free champagne too.
Right there, you go. So yeah, we'll see. That's the other thing, though. I have to spend some time thinking about is where and when I want to go places because I have these 9 months in front of me. I also want to see if my school is doing it. Like sometimes they'll do ski trips in like Switzerland or they'll go to France or whatever. So I also want to see where my school might be going and accompany them on a school trip. But yeah, and if you hear of any cool things going on in Europe, Jared, you better let me know. Just like Polyglot Con.
I'm keeping an eye out. I'm trying to use you for our podcast as much as I can.
Right.
Hey Chad, go here. This looks like fun. I mean, the first weekend you were there, I did throw out that music festival. I was like, I know you got there yesterday, but there's currently a music festival happening right now, like 3 hours away from you.
Right. Yeah, it was on the other side of the Czech Republic. Yeah.
Think about it. You'll have a 4-hour bus ride, but you'll also get a shiatsu massage on that bus.
What? Right. What's also crazy though is I'm actually considering, depending on how the timing will work, I might actually stay here a little longer so I can go to that festival.
Oh, cool.
Because
nice.
It's in the summer, so we'll see.
That would be, like, I guess 2 months after you leave.
Right. But what's also crazy is in the Czech Republic,
or after your work is over, excuse me, not after you
leave. Right. They have over 100, I believe, UNESCO sites around the Czech Republic.
I mentioned that, they have one of the highest concentration of UNESCO heritage sites or whatever they call them. So
it'd be really cool to check a lot of those out.
Some great Instagram content right there.
Right? No kidding. Yeah. I was talking to this one Czech guy, and he said it'd take you longer than 10 months to go check out all of those UNESCO sites, which I'm sure he's right.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not in, like, most of them are not in major areas or popular areas. They're probably have to go out and and go to like a bunch of small towns.
Right. You got to take the buses, but I have been really impressed with the bus system here. It's really
Local
easy to get around.
local or for travel, like
Both.
okay.
Both have been really
They're
good so far.
they're local. I mean, I guess you barely take the public transportation, like the local public transportation.
Well, right, because I don't need to get to like the surrounding villages, nor do I need a bus to get to like a grocery store.
Right.
So yeah, I've been walking and biking most places. It's been great.
Yeah, your calves probably look great.
And my buns, dude, my buns and thighs.
Easy there, Chad. You're
Slipping on gator piss.
I was waiting for you to use that drop.
I had to.
Nice, very nice. But yeah, so that's a quick little recap of my first month in the Czech Republic.
I don't think anyone would call that quick, but okay.
Not really, but you know, we could have gone longer too, I'm sure. But I have to thank my amazing co-host Jared for keeping me sane during this first month while I've been here in the Czech Republic.
Oh, wow.
And
funny because I've been going crazy since you've been gone.
Right. Well,
Since you've been gone.
Well, one of us has to keep it together. That's for sure.
So people are stealing stuff out of my car.
Exactly.
Going on this
I
camping
probably
trip.
would have, honestly, man, would have lost my shit if somebody broke into my car.
Yeah, as I said before, once again, they didn't really take any, they took stuff that, I would rather have it now, but it wasn't a huge loss.
Right.
And, first of all, if they restore that, I'm not even sure that iPod will last another, restore. It works, but only the music works on it. You can't open other things in there, and it's so, yeah, whatever. But, I was shocked at how calm I was about it. Okay, I guess this is what I get for leaving my door unlocked like an idiot.
Right.
I know that this could happen.
Yeah, that's true.
And now I'm just gonna stand at my window most nights with a wrench in my hand, waiting,
There
with
you
my
go.
door actually ajar, just bring it,
Right.
easy. I'm just gonna, and then I'm just gonna kick the door open and be like, "Hey,
Slipping on gator piss.
back away from that car, there, boy."
Right.
One more step and you'll be slipping on gator piss.
That's right. That's right. You better watch out. All those people out there. I don't know if these people are listening to the Untranslatable podcast.
Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
But they don't know what's coming to them. Well, Jared, in the related to staying calm, I think our song of the pod this week could definitely keep you nice and calm.
Yes, I challenged you recently with finding a Czech song that I did not think was terrible, and it turns out the one you did find before might not even have been Czech. So but I listened to the song and I thought it was great. But tell us about it, because this goes with your whole trip to the music festival.
Exactly. So, well, first and foremost, the name of the song is called Vibrace, which means vibration in Czech. And it's by Mr. Coco Man and the Solid Vibes. And they are a Czech reggae group.
No.
What?
It's not the Solid Vibes.
Yeah.
It's a Solid Vibes.
No, that's Czech for and, my man.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Czech for
I
and.
literally
You're learning
thought-
all sorts of Czech right now.
I literally thought that the name of the name of the group was called A Solid Vibes, and I was like, that is hilarious.
No.
Okay.
Got the
I was a little
yeah.
bummed.
Sorry to burst
Is it
your
pronounced
bubble there.
A or A?
Ah.
Oh,
Solid
A Solid
Vibes.
Vibes. Oh, damn it.
Yep.
I wrote
And
it down and highlighted it on my notes to mention that. I really wanted to mention that.
Right.
All
Yeah,
right,
no,
anyway,
it just
keep
means
going.
and. I also got lazy on our notes and wrote Solid Vibes because it's quicker than writing and.
Oh, yeah, you
Save
wrote
me
it
those
too.
2 letters, yeah.
I didn't even see that.
But yeah, and Vibrace it's just a great song. It's got kind of what your staple reggae or even ska-ish music has. It's got a lot of horns.
I'd say closer to ska than reggae.
Right. But the reason why I chose this song, and actually they didn't play this song, unfortunately, at the concert. They play a lot of other good songs, but because they didn't announce the names of the songs before they played them, I didn't know what they were called. So,
Right.
so I just kind of looked around and tried to find. Jared can have some picky musical taste sometimes, so I had to come with the Czech reggae fire.
And I've learned, being the one that edits this podcast, sometimes after I go back and edit it, I realize wow, I just straight up said I don't like that song. Like I noticed that when Jeff's song was there, I was like, I don't like it, but and I was like, well, also, what am I gonna do? Pretend I like it? What's the point of that? This is my own space. This is the only space I have to say whatever the fuck I want.
Exactly. You gotta be real, and I think our audience appreciates that.
And I'm fair about it. I don't just shit on a song. Like it's not. It's I at least try to back it up.
Right. It's not like France where you just shit on it for no reason.
Sometimes Italy and Britain too, to be fair. And I actually did like the song very much. They had great singing voices, good harmonies. They had a lot of good harmonies going on. And also, as we mentioned a little earlier, like the way that a lot of the songs ended, like a lot of songs end with those those R rolls, and it's a great kind of exclamation at the end of a song, and it kind of tops off like the end of a line pretty well.
Right, and I would not have thought that Czech lends itself to reggae or ska music, but it really does. And when I saw these guys live, Jared, he was literally just kind of freestyling in Czech before the band even really started to play. And then he'd like say something, and then the horns would hit or something, and then the band would play. So it was really cool.
He's a performer.
He is.
Okay,
he is. Mr. Coco Man, yeah.
It doesn't seem like they it seems like they aren't as well known as I thought they were. I mean, not that they're unknown, but they've got some growing to do. I mean, but that's what the Untranslatable podcast is for.
Right. Well, they have 23,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah, it's not terrible.
So that's pretty good.
They're known. I'm not saying
right.
they're like they're not out there doing it, but I was more shocked, just not shocked, but more just interested in comparison to seeing what kind of bands they brought to the festival thing that you went to.
I have to say, each band that performed, besides the first band was just kind of more pop, like Ed Sheeran-y type of pop music, kind of. Whereas everything else was like super like danceable music. Okay. There was another good group there called the Fast Food Orchestra. They were fantastic.
Apparently, Chad dances. Okay.
I do. I'm busting a move or two. I'll admit it. Granted, I had a couple of Pivo in my system with the fancy cup and handle. So that helped get the moves going.
You betcha.
But right. But yeah, Coco Man is great. And check out Vibrace on our Twitter feed. We'll have it posted when this episode drops. It's an awesome song. If you like reggae music, check out all of his stuff. You can find him on YouTube, actually under Coco Jammin'. And yeah, I mean, sadly, I don't know what all the words in the song mean, so there's not really a lot I can talk about in terms of what the words mean.
And that's another thing I was also going to mention, too. What made me think that is that you can't really find lyrics for the song.
You can for some of his songs, actually.
Oh, but they're probably not translated.
Well, then you use Google Chrome and you do that translate option, but it's not super accurate.
I don't like doing that for songs, though. Because I feel like sometimes for songs it's a little too literal with their translations.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
prefer if someone actually translates it, so they can actually
I would agree.
Make the vibe of the song a little clearer.
Right. And the other cool thing about the Mr. Coco Man group when they performed is the keyboard guy had like 3 keyboards. So like 1 or 2 I'm sure were like synths. One was a regular keyboard. And they were just great to see live. And they do perform at a lot of different festivals in the Czech Republic. So maybe you'll see them at the Czech Republic, check them out.
Maybe you'll see them at the one in August.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Shout out to Coco Jammin'. I like that. I enjoyed that song a lot.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Who would have known that Czech sounds so good with reggae? But it works.
even when even when it's stuff like reggae or ska, whatever, it's somewhere in between there. Like it's so just it being a language that I know nothing about. I automatically think like, man, they really put their own crazy spin on this song, like this super unique spin. Where it's like, maybe not, maybe it's just that's because it's a language you've never heard before. Right. But at least as a novice hearing the language, I'm like, man, even though this is a genre that I'm familiar with, like this is like they put their own spin on it. Like this is a whole new look at reggae or ska.
Oh, definitely. Well, the other thing, too, with any music in a foreign language, kind of like our song of the pod last week, I didn't know a lot of it, but I think when you don't actually know the meaning of it, you listen more to the actual sounds of the language.
Yeah.
So I think that also makes it in itself a little bit more unique. Which is why I really enjoy listening to them. And they were great live. And the cool thing was, like we mentioned, like he was able to rhyme a lot of words, and the inflection in Czech is a little different as well. And like Jared said, with the rolled R sound, it sounds really cool as well. So check that out. Kokomen a Solid Vibes on their YouTube channel or on our Twitter, Untranslatable1. And we will have that up for you once this episode drops, and we hope you all enjoy. And speaking of Czech words, Jared, I think it's time for me to share a phrase I learned at the music festival.
I'd say so.
So the phrase is mam opici, and opici means monkey, and mam means have or to have. In this case, it's actually I have. So it's I have a monkey.
Okay.
Mam opici. And I think I may have told you what this means.
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask me, do I know what it is? And there was a slight second in my head where it's like, am I going to lie and just play it off and be a professional podcaster?
No, dude, go for it. You can tell our audience. You're good.
Well, Chad told me what I meant the other day, but he didn't tell me the Czech word. He just told me what it meant, what the translation is. And it is to have a monkey means to have a hangover, right?
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that might have been me a little bit this morning.
Yeah. Spent a little too much time at that concert.
Slipping on gator piss.
That's also,
like
I feel like that could also be used to be like I was hammered.
Oh, it for sure could be.
I was slipping on gator piss.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and the thing is, though, is like a lot of Czech people, like they can drink.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beer culture. They're
right.
The home of Pilsner.
Exactly. So
speaking of which Oktoberfest is coming up soon too.
It's actually already happening right now, by the way.
September. Okay.
It starts in late September and ends in early October. But
okay.
But anyways, the whole reason why I learned this word was there was one of the songs, and I tried to find the song online and I couldn't find it. But there's a song where he rhymes a bunch of words with the ci ending. So opici, so tsi.
C. Oh, right.
Because a C is a tse in Czech. And so he rhymed, like, I think the word for tradition is something like tradice, not si, but tse.
Right.
This one, I guess it's opici, but he would somehow rhyme tse, and some of them were tsi, and something like this. And then one of the lines he said was mam opici.
Okay.
Mam opici. And so the couple Czech people that I were with there, they were kind of laughing, and then they thankfully explained it to me. They said, "Yeah, I have a monkey just means that you're hungover." So very fascinating, that's for sure.
Yeah, we could probably do a whole episode on what other cultures call hangover.
We should actually. I was actually going to bring that up with you after the episode, but I think we should.
Hangovers,
right? Well, Jared, let's get a little silly. I got a couple jokes for you. They're not my greatest. They're not originals either, but they are what they are. So here we go, Jared.
Listen, never start a segment by saying these aren't the greatest.
All right, sorry. These are the greatest.
Podcasting 101. Don't introduce a new segment by saying these suck.
All right, so these
we're trying
are
to bring the
greatest.
listeners in. We're trying to keep their attention.
That's true.
You've never heard jokes so fucking funny in your life. You should be sending us millions just for these jokes alone.
Can I pay you to come to the Czech Republic and just be my hype man?
Yeah, I think we can make that happen.
Because that would be amazing. All right, Jared. So my first joke for you. What does a clock do when it's hungry?
I mean, somewhere in this joke is going to be the tick or tock.
Nope.
Oh.
You ready?
Turns the time to lunchtime.
That would be a good one. But what does a clock do when it's hungry? It goes back for seconds.
Okay. There you go. All right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, I don't,
Little gyos there, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's really the most appropriate way to, that's the most appropriate word.
All right, Jared. What do cows tell each other at bedtime?
Move over.
Nope.
Oh, I thought I had that one.
That's a good one. Maybe even better than the punchline, but they tell each other dairy tales.
No, I like that one better.
Right? That's pretty good, right?
I like that one.
All right, and my last joke for you for this episode, Jared, is what is Americans' favorite pop, or what is America's favorite soda?
Arrogance Cola.
No, Minnesota.
Oh. That one was actually a pretty good bias in itself, too. It's like, oh, that's kind of dumb, but I like it.
That's like a good little dad joke, you know?
Yeah, I like that one.
Really, we might need to change the name of the segment to Dad Jokes of the Pod, because that's what the majority of these are, if we're being honest.
Also, you need to stop underestimating yourself, because I like that last one. That one got me a little bit.
Nice. We'll have to clip that bad boy later. Well, Jared, sadly, it has come to that time where our episode is more or less done. But I want to leave our listeners with a solid quote to sum up our episode. And it is by a very famous philosopher by the last name of Kierkegaard. Maybe you've heard of him.
Many
maybe not.
Frigis.
Sorry, I hit the wrong one.
Who dat?
Damn it.
Hit it one more time, Jared. Hit it one more time.
Who dat?
There we go. Kierkegaard is our philosopher for today. And the quote is, "Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards."
Oh,
So
yeah.
now I'm hoping to take this month under my belt and learn from it and use it so I can live even more forwards, if that
And
makes sense.
We've talked a good bit about living in the moment as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, don't obsess too much over everything. You're in a new country, goddammit, enjoy it.
Right? Absolutely. You got to enjoy every second while you can. So everybody remember out there, life can only be understood backwards, but you got to live it forwards. And on that note, I would like to thank all of our amazing listeners out there. Also, thank you all for checking out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. Please shoot us an email at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Send us some of your own untranslatables, or really whatever the hell is on your mind. We'd love to hear from you. You can also find us on Twitter at Untranslatable1 and at Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. Also, our Facebook page, which has now been up for a few days. You can check that out at the handle Untranslatable
about a
Podcast.
week at this point, but
So a week? Oh, nice. All
a
right,
little
well,
over a week, yeah.
shout out to that 1 week mark for our Facebook page. I've been posting some crazy memes on there, so take a look if you enjoy memes. And we appreciate all of you as our listeners, and we are looking forward to chatting with you next time.